حي على الفلاح.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربنا أسر ولا تؤسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح ربي زدني علما. Alhamdulillah, all praise, all thanks, all gratitude is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Under all conditions, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Especially Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He brought us into His house to come for another Jumma. This is a big favor and a big niyama from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My dear respected brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He placed us in this world and He sent nabis from time to time, prophets from time to time, to remind the mankind and to tell the mankind how to live our life in this world, so that when we will leave this world, we will get the everlasting bliss of the paradise in the next life. Our last and final Nabi, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the month of Rabiul Awwal. This is the month when our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born. This is a very special month for the Muslims, for the believers. Yeah? And a lot of times we hear about Miladun Nabi and celebration and having, celebration for Nabi sallallahu, celebrating the birthday of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us more or less, that if we love him, then follow him. If we love him, then follow him. What Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us? That we should try to put all the practices, all of his practices in our lives. Whatever Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did when he woke up in the morning until he go back to sleep at night, we should try to put this into our lives. This is the Sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we look at the lives of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they was ready to follow every single Sunnah that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would have done, to the smallest and the minutest detail. Once a companion was traveling in the desert with another companion, and he saw the companion, he stopped and he went on the side of the pathway and he sit for a little while, and then he came back. So the companion asked, "Why did you do this?" And he said that once I was in a journey with Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam stopped at this exact spot to free himself of nature. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stopped there. This companion, he didn't need to go and do this, but he did this because of the love that he had for Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. My dear respected brothers and sisters, if we would follow the Sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is going to put barakat in our lives. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is going to give us so much of big rewards for just following in the practice and in the way of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. For instance, my dear respected, every day we come to the masjid, the men, to pray our salat in Jamaat. Every time we would make wudu at home and we would walk towards the masjid. This is a sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Every footstep that we would take, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will remove one of our minor sins. He would add a blessing in our account, and He would raise us 1 degree higher for following this sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. For the men who would grow this beard, this is a sunnah that is not practiced. When a sunnah is not practiced, we call it a dead sunnah. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said more or less that the people who would practice a sunnah that is not practiced, then we will get the reward of 100 shaheed. One narration says, 1 shaheed. Who is a shaheed, my dear respected brothers and sisters? A shaheed is a person who went to fight in the path of Allah, for the pleasure of Allah, and he happens to die. Before one drop of his blood touches the ground, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive all of his sins, and the paradise will become compulsory upon him. This is the reward for a person practicing a sunnah that is not practiced. There are so many sunnahs of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam that we talk about the miswak. You know, the miswak for brushing the teeth. Every time we would use this miswak, and we would pray salat after we make wudu, and we use this miswak for, then we will get the reward 70 times more for that salat that we would pray. And for the men who would put on the imama, you know, the turban, another 70 times more reward for following this sunnah. So big rewards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in place for following in the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. My dear respected brothers and sisters, what was the biggest sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam? The biggest sunnah of all of the Anbiya, all of the prophets. Why they were sent in this world? Why they were sent in this world? To remind the mankind. To remind the mankind that this life that we are living is a short life. That sooner or later we are going to leave this world. And we will all have to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah. And all of us will have to give an answer as to how we live our life in this world, how we spend our life in this world. This is why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was the Khatimun Nabi, the final of all of the Anbiya, but he was the perfect exemplar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam as an exemplar for us to follow. And if we would follow in his lifestyle, if we will follow in his ways, then definitely we will get, the best of both of the world. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised us that when we would follow in the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, He is going to put barakat in our lives. He is going to give us good lives. He is going to give us good children. He is going to make every difficult task easy for us. We can see in one of the battles, one of the battles, the companions, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was not in this battle. He had already left this world. And they were going to cross the big sea. They were going to cross the sea. And they had no boat, no ship. The horses was there. And the Amir of this Jamaat, he asked his companions, have any one of you committed any major sins? All of them said no. Then he said, have any one of you left out any of the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam? And all of them they checked themselves. And then they realized, that this miswak, some of them, they were not doing the miswak. So, the companions, the Amir ordered them to get miswak, start to brush your teeth. When they started brushing their teeth, there were spies among the Muslims there. And they went back and told the enemies that they are sharpening their teeth to eat us, that devils are coming. They didn't have to raise a sword, but they won battles, my dear respected. They won battles. Muslims won battles following the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Today, we are making dua, and our duas are not accepted. Why, my dear respected? We are doing so many good things. We are giving charity, and we are performing so much of nafil salah, and yet our duas are not accepted. Why, my dear respected? We should question ourselves and find if it is that I have some lacking of the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam in my life, and we should try to go to the classes that the deen of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being given, so that we could get the information as to how to make our wudu properly, how to take a bath properly, how we should sit and eat, how we should go to the toilet. Every single aspect of the life of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he taught us how to live our lives in this world. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he taught us how to even go to the toilet, how a man should go towards his wife, how we should make arrangement to do nikah. Every single thing Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he taught the mankind how to do. So it is for us, my dear respected brothers and sisters, to see how we can get the information and the knowledge to know what we should do at this point in time. What we should do at that point in time. But most importantly, my dear respected, what we like for ourselves, we should like it for our Muslims, especially our Muslim brothers and sisters. Why? Because we have Iman, we have Kalima La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in our lives, in our hearts. This is why on a weekly basis on Wednesdays, we make Jamaats and we go and we try to meet all of the Muslims of the area. To do what? To encourage them and to remind them to come towards the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Come where the knowledge of deen is being taken place, so that we can know what we need to do at this point in time. We will need to know, we will know what we must do when we wake up in the morning, how to make the wudu properly, how to take a first bath, how to do each and every aspect of our life, our daily dealing with people, how to do business. Every single thing Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he taught us, my dear respected. Even going to visit a sick, this is one big sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For that person who will go and visit a sick, and then we will make dua for the sick. 70,000 angels, they make dua for our forgiveness. Yeah, even the fishes in the sea and all of the animals, they make dua for our forgiveness, for our maghfirat. This is Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying this to us. This is not what I am saying, my dear respected. So how we can get these qualities into our lives? We have to know. We have to know. This is why we have classes taking place. This is why we have maktabs, and we have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send the greatest of all book, the greatest miracle, Al-Quran. All of us, we should get this Quran, not just to read Arabic, but we should get that tafsir of the Quran also, and read on a daily basis so we can know what Allah and the Rasul, what He wants from us, what we should do and what we should not do. Then we would see from the example of the people of the past, when they would make mistake, what happened to them. When they would make mistake, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala disgraced them in this world, and He will disgrace them in the next life. We can see example like in the time of Prophet Noah alayhi salam. Prophet Noah preached Islam for over 950 years. And how many people accepted Islam and follow his way? There's a handful, 80 to 85 people. But what happened, my dear respected? The people who obeyed the Nabi, who obeyed the Prophet, they were successful in this world. They were saved from the flood, and they will be saved in the next life. But the people who did not obey and did not follow in the footsteps of their Nabi and did not obey their Nabi, what happened to them? They were drowned in this flood. Even the wife and the son of Noah alayhi salam, who was family to Noah alayhi salam, blood. Noah was saying to Allah that, oh Allah, they are my family. This is my son. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Noah more or less that he is not from you. He is not one of you. Because he do not believe in La ilaha illallah. He is not one of you. So the son is saying to his father that, you see that mountain? That mountain is going to save my life. And the son climbed in the mountain, and the father is saying, son, come into the boat. Come into the boat and you'll be saved. And he is telling his father, you ever hear anybody building a boat and there's no water? But the qudrat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that when Allah say kun fayakun, be, and that it is. Water came from all direction. And the same mountain that he thought would save his life, this mountain was the destruction of his life. And in the time of Musa alayhi salam, same thing happened, my dear respected. The people who followed Musa alayhi salam, the Nabi, the people who followed the Nabi, they were saved from that water. And the people who did not obey and did not follow, they was drowned. So there was disgrace in this world, and they will be disgraced in the next life also. And their final destination will be what? The hellfire. So my dear respected, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam as the final Nabi, as the final messenger, as the final exemplar. This is the Nabi that we should follow. Now we don't follow any of the other Nabis, but we follow Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So whatever Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam he did, if we would do this, then inshallah we will be following in the Sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. then we will be obeying the orders of Allah. And with this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us good in this world, and inshallah He will grant us the best in the next world. So my dear respected, just a reminder and a request that inshallah, that we have these classes in the masjid, and we should try, to make an extra effort to come, because this is where the knowledge of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be taking place. And if we would find ourselves in these places, this is the places where the gardens of paradise that Allah talk about in this world, the masjid. So we should find ourselves as much as possible in the gardens of paradise in this world, and inshallah we will get the rewards and the benefit that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He is speaking about. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of His mercies, give each and every one of us the hidayat and the guidance inshallah, so that we can, make an extra effort to follow in the sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, find out what Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam would do in each and every aspect of his life, and when we are in that situation, we find out and we try to put that practice in our lives. And most important, my dear respecteds, is we do this only for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever action we are doing, if we do it for any other thing than pleasing Allah, then the reward will be nil. And in turn, we might be getting, a sin for this. So, inshallah, whatever we're doing, we try to put our niyat correct. While I'm doing it, check my niyat again. Am I doing this for the pleasure of Allah? Have I done this for the pleasure of Allah? And make istighfar and beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put this quality in my life, inshallah. May Allah grant each and every one of us hidayah and Jannatul Firdaus. Wa akhina da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.